Well, I'd like to say good morning, and my my dog, the famous Francois Pierre, has informed me that there was a football game this week involving the college national championship, something like that, and I'm not sure what he's talking about. So perhaps some of you may have some idea as to what he's referencing when he's talking about the National College Football Championship of the World. Because I'm not sure exactly, what he's referring to, but it has something to do with an animal called a wolverine, and I wasn't really sure if he was trying to say tangerine because sometimes Francois Pierre gets his words confused, and so he's French and he's a bulldog and he has a tongue that hangs out and teeth that stick up, as all of you who know him know full well. So sometimes he gets a little confused. So Wolverine, tangerine, margarine. I'm not sure what he was talking about exactly, but it had something to do with a major blowout against another team that was represented by a dog. I think called a husky. So I'm saying, well, so I guess you were, so how did it turn out, Francois Pierre? And he says, well, the Wolverines soundly defeated the Huskies. I said, well, I'm sorry, condolences, because I know you're a dog. You probably rooted for the dog. And he says, no, he says, as you know, Dowie, he calls me Dowie. He says, I'm not real fond of dogs because I think they're kind of stupid. And they bark. And I said, well, you bark. He says, I bark for reasons. Other dogs just bark to bark. I bark because I want food. So well, that's a pretty good reason, I guess. You don't want to starve to death. And he says, yes. So I says, my friends, the Wolverines, did a good job of teaching those dogs a lesson. And I said, what about the Bulldogs, of Georgia? I thought you liked them. He said, I used to, until they lost. And I said, you don't like losers, huh? He says, no, I don't. And he said, that includes you, Daddy. So what the, why does everything turn out to be an insult to me for my stupid dog? Those of you who know the answer, I'd appreciate your cards and letters, and especially your condolences. So, let's not beat around the bush and be subtle anymore. It was Michigan, the Maize and Blue, the mighty team where I went to school, which is why they did so well. Finally got the recognition they deserved. You realize the last time Michigan won a national championship that was not shared with anyone or in controversy was the year that I came back from Paris. And it was the year when Harry Truman got elected at his first time when he actually ran for president. It was the year when my dad came back from France, where he was in charge of status of forces prosecutions after the war, and he became a first assistant U.S. attorney. That's how I met Truman. So that was the year. So you know which year we're talking about now, right? What year did I come back from Paris? 1948. I know. I came back from Paris 20 years before I was born. 40 years before I was born. Okay, 35 years before I was born. I actually came back from Paris 35 years before I was born. I'd like to see any of you out there who can claim a comparable feat, because I don't think you are. That's right, I'm unique. Now, speaking of unique, I want to talk to you about something just educational for a second. I know it's boring, but hey, I never claimed to be exciting, right? I just claimed to be good looking. And even that was false. So, I just came back from wasting my time at the driving range. I never seem to get any better, but at least I don't get as bad each time. I get worse each time, but not as by lesser and lesser amounts. So if I just keep this up, someday it's going to turn to the positive, but not yet. So I'm listening to the radio, and Hunter Biden shows up at the contempt hearing for the Republicans are having for him. So I just want to tell you people how this contempt thing works, because politicians are always throwing words out all over. Every politician I know is a word salad. So here's how it works. You don't have power. Laws don't have teeth in the abstract. They have teeth in the here and now, what you can do, not what you can say about things. So Congress has the ability to issue subpoenas. They're lawful, and if you disobey a subpoena, as many people do, unlike in a court subpoena where you can go right to court and say, Judge, this guy refused to show up for a court order, that's enforceable. Congressional subpoena is not enforceable by Congress. Those of you who didn't take civics or who spent your time in civics goofing off, like maybe I did. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I'm not confessing to anything yet. So you may have missed that fine point. But the way it works is Congress issues a subpoena. If you blow it off and don't show, they can hold you in contempt of Congress. I think that's ironic, don't you? Congress, that everybody holds in contempt, is holding people in contempt of Congress? Think about that one. Congress, that everybody holds in contempt, is holding other people in contempt. I guess if you can hold me in contempt, I can hold you in contempt too. So there. I know, very mature. No, not me, Congress. Be quiet, Francois. So, here's the dealie. Here's how it works. If you are Congress and you say, Hunter Biden, you didn't show up. Now, Hunter Biden did show up on the day, but he said, I'm only going to appear publicly. I'm not going to appear in a backroom type deal. And the Republicans said, no. We said, no. That's French. No. You are subpoenaed, monsieur, to appear in a private session so that we can then take your words and we can present them to the public out of context. Or to be clever, though. So Biden said, no, you're not going to do that. He didn't. These people don't really speak with a French accent. I just do that to class this program up a little. I know, it doesn't work, does it? That doesn't keep me from trying. Right, Francois Pierre? He's French, So, the way it works is, you're Congress, you hold somebody in contempt. What do you do about that? Can you fine them? No. Can you arrest them? No. I think back in the old days, in the early days, they actually had a little prison in the bottom of the Congress, and they would go out and have the marshals go out or the congressional police go out and arrest people and bring them in and throw them in that little cell in the bottom. Well, they don't do that anymore. So, I'm not really sure they ever did do that. I just heard that somewhere. So what they do is they have to go to the Justice Department and ask the Justice Department to prosecute the person for contempt of Congress, for failing to apply a subpoena. And whether or not Congress does that, I mean, the presidency does that, the administration, the Justice Department does that, it's up to them. So guess what never happens? If the Congress is of one party and the president is of another party, and the person being subpoenaed is political in nature, particularly if it's for the party A trying to get dirt on party B, party B being the administration never prosecutes for contempt. So unless you have the House and the Justice Department in the same party, you almost never get prosecuted for contempt of Congress. So the whole thing is a kabuki dance. What's a kabuki dance? I'm not going to teach you people everything. That's why you have Google. Look up kabuki dance. It's Japanese. So, no, it's not in Japanese. You don't need a Japanese Google. I give up. You people are driving me nuts. So I just want to say Happy New Year. And now that Michigan has won the International Intergalactic World Championship of Humanity, it's going to be a good year. It's already a good year. Happy New Year to you guys. Bye.